So the Sun newspaper investigated what they found to be child slavery. Rich British families are buying children survivors from last year's Nepal earthquake for nearly $8,000. UK Home Secretary Theresa May has urged police to investigate these claims. So to be exact, $7,464 these children are being sold to. The Sun newspaper, they brought in an undercover reporter into the area of Nepal. And they met with this slave trader called Makhan Singh. So he was pretty much referring to these children as stock, like, hey, I recommend you get the 12 to 13-year-olds. I recommend you get them from Nepal, because they were also selling Indian children as well. And it's his business that he started. I mean, this has been happening, of course, ongoing. But to use these survivors from the Nepal earthquake who are already in such horrible conditions and being sold, not getting paid for this, by the way. They were being exactly just
modern day slavery.
Exactly slaves, exactly, yeah.
And we see the exploitation of children, unfortunately, not only in countries like Nepal that were just struck by a terrible natural disaster, but we see it in other places too. And you know what? A lot of the time, it's legal. I mean, if you look at a lot of the Gulf countries, right, where they bring in domestic workers from countries like India, for example, or the Philippines too, just to name, a few. As an example, you'll see them coming in legally. Their passports will be taken away by these countries, by the government, and they're forced to work. Now, are they going to be able to speak out if they're abused? No. Are they going to be able to monitor how much these people are getting paid? No. So, a lot of the times the same thing is happening, maybe a little bit better, but it's still completely legal. And then we're going to get into, Qatar, for example, the World Cup and all those things. And you see the deplorable conditions where these workers are being basically forced to work in the place that they have to sleep in. And we see thousands of people died already, Yeah,
I mean, these children and these families don't know any better.
Yeah.
They're in such horrible conditions. They think that being taken in by somebody wealthy, being fed is heaven on earth, yet to be later found out that that's not the condition, not always the condition. Makhan Singh, like I was saying before, the slave trader, he did there was a quote from him. He goes, if you want my advice, take a 12 or 13-year-old, keep him in your house here, train him, then by the time you're taking him over to the UK, he will be molded into your ways. So pretty much they're kind of urging the owners to keep them in Nepal, keep them in India, and train them, and like he said, mold them. I mean, it's like treating them like an object, and then moving them back to the UK so they have some sort of training. And again, this is like his business that he's doing, and I don't know how many arrests have been made from people like him, but there definitely should be more.
Yeah, and these are, a lot of the time, it's very hard to know, where these people are coming from exactly.
Right.
We happen to know who this man's identity is, but a lot of the time people have to go to the jungles of Malaysia, for example, first, where they stay at these detention camps. Then once they are ready to go, then they send them off to other countries. So it's definitely very difficult to pinpoint exactly how loose that network is and who is responsible for it. Luckily, they know who this person is, but like you said, it's going to be very tricky, to uncover a lot of these networks a lot of the time.
Well, Theresa May, the UK Home Secretary, is calling on the NCA to look into these claims. She actually brought up the Modern Slavery Act, which protects these child victims into slavery. So I hope more action is taken to prevent this.